In a dramatic turn of events that has captivated royal watchers across the globe, Sarah Ferguson, the ever-resilient Duchess of York, better known to the world as Fergie, appears to have pulled off one of the most unexpected U-turns in recent British royal history. Just weeks after it was widely reported that she was on the verge of leaving the United Kingdom for good, packing her bags for a sun-drenched escape to Portugal with her younger daughter Princess Eugenie, fresh reports now suggest that Fergie may never board that plane after all. Instead, the solution to her sudden and very public housing crisis could lie much closer to home, specifically in the rolling hills of the Cotswolds, courtesy of her elder daughter, Princess Beatrice. The property in question is a beautifully renovated granny annex on Beatrice's £3.5 million countryside estate. Recently completed, the standalone residence boasts its own private entrance, freshly repointed stonework, brand-new gutters, crisp exterior paintwork, and even a recent delivery of propane gas bottles timed perfectly with the first chill of winter. Sources close to the York family say everything is ready for immediate occupation, and all fingers point to the Duchess herself as the imminent new resident. This development represents far more than a simple change of address. It is the latest chapter in what has become a full-blown royal housing saga, one that exposes the fragile fault lines running through the House of Windsor in the era of King Charles III's slimmed-down monarchy. To understand how Sarah Ferguson reached this precarious point, we must go back to the seismic events that upended her life. For the past 16 years, Fergie had enjoyed the extraordinary privilege of living at Royal Lodge, the sprawling 30-room Grade II listed mansion in Windsor Great Park that she shared, platonically but harmoniously, with her ex-husband, Prince Andrew. The couple divorced in 1996, yet continued to cohabit as best friends and devoted co-parents to their daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie. To outsiders, the arrangement was eccentric. To them, it was simply home. That home, however, was never truly hers. Royal Lodge was leased in Prince Andrew's name, and when King Charles made the momentous decision to withdraw his brother's public role and security funding in the wake of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, Andrew was told he must vacate the property. The king offered Frogmore Cottage, or a smaller residence on the Sandringham estate, as alternatives, a humiliating downgrade from a palatial mansion to something far more modest. Sarah, as a divorced ex-royal with no official title or role, had no legal claim to remain once Andrew left. She was, in effect, collateral damage in the royal purge. For a brief moment this autumn, it looked as though Fergie's future lay abroad. Princess Eugenie and her husband, Jack Brooksbank, who divide their time between London and Portugal, where Jack works for a luxury property developer, were reportedly preparing a suite for her mother at their stunning £3.6 million oceanfront villa on the Costa Terra Golf Resort near Comporta. The plan had an elegant logic: warm weather, privacy far from the British press pack, and the comfort of being near at least one of her daughters. Many assumed the move was a fait accompli. Then came the bombshell report in the Mail on Sunday. Beatrice's Cotswolds granny annex was not only finished but primed and ready. Insiders described a flurry of last-minute preparations, heating checks, furniture deliveries, the works. Suddenly, the narrative flipped. Portugal might have been Eugenie's preferred solution, but the Cotswolds now appears to be the frontrunner. Why the change of heart? Geography, emotion, and practicality all seem to be playing their part. Portugal offers escape, but also isolation. Sarah does not speak the language, has few independent friendships there, and would be entirely reliant on Eugenie and Jack's goodwill. The Cotswolds, by contrast, keeps her within easy reach of London, her charity commitments, her wide circle of friends, and, crucially, both of her daughters. Beatrice and her husband Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi live full-time in the UK with their young daughter Sienna and newborn son, born earlier this year, while Eugenie continues to spend significant time in London despite the Portuguese base. The annex itself is said to be a jewel, self-contained, tastefully appointed, and offering the perfect balance of independence and proximity. It is, in many ways, the ideal compromise for a woman who has spent decades navigating the tricky terrain between royal privilege and real-world consequences. Yet the deeper significance of this story lies far beyond bricks and mortar. Sarah Ferguson's predicament lays bare the human cost of King Charles's determination to modernize the monarchy. In the new reign, there is simply no room for hangers-on, even if those hangers-on happen to be the mother of two princesses and the grandmother of royal grandchildren. Fergie has not been a working royal since the early 1990s, and her colorful history, from the infamous 1992 toe-sucking scandal to various financial misadventures, has long made her a liability in the eyes of the firm. Nevertheless, the optics of a 65-year-old former duchess facing potential homelessness because of her ex-husband's transgressions have proved uncomfortable even for royal traditionalists. Public reaction has been sharply divided. On one side are those who believe Sarah has enjoyed decades of unearned luxury and should now stand on her own 2 feet, or move into a flat like any ordinary pensioner. On the other are those who insist she is being unfairly punished for crimes in which she played no part, and that blood ties, especially to two much-loved princesses, should count for something. Beatrice and Eugenie themselves now find themselves in an impossible position. Their father is reportedly clinging desperately to Royal Lodge, refusing to accept his reduced circumstances. Their mother faces eviction through no fault of her own. Offering the Cotswolds Annex allows Beatrice to extend a lifeline without forcing Sarah into exile, yet it also places the financial and emotional burden squarely on the younger generation. Some commentators have praised the sisters' loyalty. Others whisper that it is unfair for princesses in their 30s to become their mother's landlords. This is not merely a family drama, it is a defining test for the modern monarchy. If even the mother of princesses can be cast adrift the moment her presence becomes inconvenient, what message does that send about the institution's values? Conversely, if Charles were to grant Sarah some form of permanent grace and favor home, he would immediately be accused of hypocrisy for preaching austerity while protecting controversial relatives. For now, the smartest money is on the Cotswold solution. It keeps Sarah in Britain, preserves her dignity, maintains family unity, and, most importantly, keeps her out of the headlines as much as any arrangement possibly could. Portugal may still happen one day as a holiday home or winter retreat, but for day-to-day life, the Granny Annex in the heart of the English countryside looks set to become the Duchess of York's unexpected salvation. In the end, Sarah Ferguson's housing crisis reveals a royal family grappling with the same questions that face any large, complicated clan. How much do we owe our parents when they fall on hard times? Where do loyalty and responsibility end and enabling begin? And when privilege is stripped away, what remains of family? For Fergie, twice touched by scandal, twice forced to reinvent herself, this latest twist is simply another chapter in a life that has never followed the expected script. If the Cotswolds Annex does indeed become her new home, it will stand as a quiet testament to the enduring love of her daughters and to the fact that, even in the most rarefied circles, sometimes the greatest luxury of all is simply having somewhere to belong.